welcome back. I know it's been a few months since the last time I did an update, but I have some fantastic stuff for you guys and updates that I think it was worth the wait. As you've seen from the beginning of the presentation, those are some absolutely beautiful pictures of the play Breakfast with Mugabe that we did in Pittsburgh with the Quantum Theater. As you can see, we had an absolutely brilliant set designer, very period pieces. We had an eclectic group of technical staff. Of course, a brilliant director, Carla Booth, did an absolutely fabulous job of getting very specific details of the feel of Zimbabwe and the colonial, the presidential feel of the palace in this unconventional space, which I'll get to in a moment. A cast of 4, theater in the round, always a gem to any theater performer, any actor. We were fortunate enough on opening night to have the playwright, Fraser Grace, fly all the way in from England to see this U.S. premiere of Breakfast with Mugabe. So, of course, we were very pleased, pleasantly surprised, and we were really floored that he was very pleased with this American production. Of course, the play was originally commissioned by the RSC and produced by the National Theater, so this being a U.S. premiere, we felt truly honored as a cast to be involved and to have the chance to mount this thing. So we're hoping that it'll be embraced, especially at this very relevant time in political history, in the political history of South Africa, not only Zimbabwe, but Kenya. As you know, there's a lot of unrest in both countries. So this has been, it's been an amazing piece of work to spend 7 weeks, in Pittsburgh and see how much they value and to see the quality of work that goes on throughout the city. But I don't know if you are aware of the current political situation. As you know, President Robert Mugabe has been the president of Zimbabwe for the past 28 years. He's currently running for his 6th term, which will be 28 years of rule. He's ruled with a very heavy hand, a very impassioned zeal. Unfortunately, it hasn't done to the betterment of the country. In fact, to measure the inflation is almost to the point of absurdity. It seems that it would run at like 4,000% with no food in the stores to measure inflation by any longer. The running joke is that President Mugabe has actually made every citizen in the country a millionaire by the process that a single banknote, it would take 1 million of those to make the equivalent of, say, $1 in the U.S. when it actually had valued currency. So the DMC, or Democratic Movement for Change, is expected to oppose President Mugabe's election, not oppose it, but to make sure that it is a fair political campaign, as they are afraid that if at the end of March, when elections take place, that President Mugabe, with a strong hand, if he was found to lose the election, that he might take some rather aggressive measures to ensure that he remained in power. So the DMC is representing what appears to be the majority of the populace and the citizenry that is calling for a change. 2008 is proving to be a very interesting and historic year for political change, not only in South Africa with Kenya and the unrest and the outcry and the suffering in Darfur as well, but we also have in the U.S., of course, very significant political change coming about, as we have 2 very viable candidates. The first viable African-American male candidate, of course, being Barack Obama, and of course the first female candidate, Hillary Clinton. So we certainly have some significant changes coming around in the world, in these 2 continents. So it's going to be really interesting to see what comes about. Now, I have some fantastic bonus features for you guys coming up for this January update. What I've done is I've created an online exhibit of the Carnegie Museum's Natural History Museum. There's some very diverse some artifacts and exhibits that you can imagine. The Scape Gallery was utterly amazing. You'll see some Etruscan art, some Indians, some Cameroon. So please take some time, and I've tried to keep it as interesting as possible for you guys. This is some beautiful photographs, if I may say so myself, and a lot of them. I've added some music to keep it really interesting. So if you have a few minutes on your lunch break, 5 minutes to spare after this presentation, do yourself a favor and click over and, again, give me some feedback and let me know what you think, so you get a little idea of what I was doing while I was in Pittsburgh, working our butts off to give you guys a really great presentation of Breakfast with Mugabe, but I wanted to share the experience with you, some of the things that I saw while I was there. Pittsburgh is a really dynamic and culturally diverse place, and I can't wait to share that with you in the February update. So this is Gregory from TMN, the Michael Network. Glad to share this with you, and I hope you enjoy.